Okay, welcome back to class, folks. What are we doing here? Conceptually, what's the deal? This is a 100-year-old house. As we look at it from the front, as we look at the original foundation from above, so this is what we know we've seen already, I think. And I believe this is how things happen, but I think originally this had a block basement under the house proper, this nice little cube here. 100 years ago, I don't think it was a big concern to have an enclosed garage. I don't think that this porch, enclosed porch or three-season room, I keep calling it, was here. And there have been some additions at the back. So you start with a full-depth basement, concrete block like this with basement stairs that go down. And these are the basement windows that were there. And then, I don't know the order here, but I think that eventually they ended up doing an addition at the back here, which has a different roof system. And then it was like that. And then I think they did an addition like this. This got its own foundation. And I think this has its own foundation to some extent, somehow there. Then they decided they wanted the garage. And so to get up, firstly, they knew that they wanted it kind of out here in this kind of footprint, so they poured concrete. And then they put a little bit of a wall here to get them up to the same height as the rest of the foundation. And they went around the corner and across the back here. And there's a doorway that they left out there. And the garage door comes down like that. And then this was crawl space, so this like window sash in the basement window, it ultimately got rotten or decayed or went away or whatever. So when you're in the full depth basement here, you can see over into this area here. Now when you get to the bottom of the stairs, you step up for some unknown reason, some strange reason. But they turn that window into a door, I want to say. You step up for some, again, weirdly, I don't know why. There's a window now at the back here, and this is Ed's little workshop here, my buddy. The bottom of the stairs on bearing left, this is where this window he had covered with straw and whatever else, this is all broken out and collapsed and laying all on the floor here. And this is where the furnace is. This is where that chimney comes down in here. And the hot water tank stands here. And then this is your main beam of the house for some reason. Normally your beam runs with the ridge. And in this house, the main beam is going in the opposite direction. And so there would have been a couple posts in here. And so they've been basically incorporated into some really overly deep shelving and stuff. And I keep saying overly deep because that's, with shelves, if you're not careful, stuff can fall to the back. And that's what's happened here. So he had a real meager kind of a work area here. And they did laundry machines over here and the sink underneath, double laundry sink underneath the window that looks over into the crawl space. And then there's no lights in here. And this is that straw bale over the window well situation by the garage. This is all collapsed and stuff on the floor also. So that you can be sure that this corner of the house is compromised here and this corner is compromised over here. And so you get like a dipping adjacent corner, like dipping down and settling. And then the three-season room has got piers under it, which it stops short of that. So there's at least two circular piers here, and whether or not that span needs to be bisected there or bisected there, and whether or not there's something in the middle, who knows? But then they ended up putting that on over there. And hopefully this illustrates, this is just, it gets out of control. So we're going to erase this. So currently, I believe it would be ideal that the piers go roughly 4 feet underground for our climate zone for this room, and that the basement goes deeper still. It's not an 8-foot ceiling or anything like that, so it goes down some under here, and there's like probably some kind of a footer. We'll find out. And then this, I believe, is just a pad on the ground with those built on top. And you get moisture and stuff and frost heaving out here. And you get, if there's window wells like we had, then there's like a confluence of roof systems and stuff here and broken downspout and whatever else. You get moisture here, and that has worked on that wall, and frost heaving and stuff over there. And the same behind the three-season room here. You get the same kind of action over here, and it's just been trouble. So when our guy Georgie Construction, when they show up in the spring, we're going to have all this stuff out of the way that we're talking about, moving stones, moving dirt, moving shrubs, cutting tree limbs back and stuff. And he's going to show up. And he is going to dig underneath I mean, that chimney goes all the way down here. It's 6 feet wide, all the way up through the basement, all the way up to, I think, probably the hearth, or the mantle, excuse me. Then it necks down, and then it goes a little bit narrower, it goes all the way up. And that's extreme weight. And so he's going to have to get underneath that with a jack, hydraulic system of jacks that are coordinated. And he'll be digging around by hand, getting underneath other key areas of the structure itself with jacks, and then he's going to lift this puppy. Push the button, basically. We'll be around for that. And she going up. And then we're going to shore it up there. So we're going to do their railroad ties. It's called cribbing. And we'll do it Lincoln log style, 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. And there'll be towers of that in key areas underneath the house to hold it there. And that it will be sitting, and they'll be in key areas. When I say that, there'll be nowhere, if this is the foundation pour that we're going to do, whatever it may be, will be well away with these columns of cribbing, one way and then the other, and one way and then the other, and one way and the other, whatever, so that we can do all the work that we've got to do and get beams and stuff in here and posts and pour foundation walls and stuff. And those sort of hang out in these pockets of dead space and will be removed later. So we'll be up on those. And then we're going to dig. And I believe we're going to go with a stem wall. I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to try and get a stem wall underneath that porch, 3-season room. I'm going to get a stem wall underneath the garage and a full depth basement under the entirety of the footprint of the house. So that means he's going to dig down, and we don't want to dig down further than we want to go. Because we need to not to disturb the soil. So we'll make ourselves a plane here, and then we'll dig some more, and we'll make ourselves a plane there, and we'll dig back up to this kind of elevation here, and we'll dig along, and we'll dig out and over there. He'll get this sort of situation. Meanwhile, and this is not to scale, but essentially we're going to consume more than the volume of the concrete basement now, and truck all that crap out, smash these stairs off, take all of this away, piers and everything like that. And this will be what we'll have. Take this all off, and we'll be hanging out in space like this. Then he'll pack up and take off for a little while. We'll get our footers poured here, and here, and here, like that. And then we're going to form up and pour the foundation wall. So we'll be back, and I'm going to just, for the sake of argument, I guess I'll just stop it there, and we'll pour those up. All concrete. And for the garage, that will mean that we will do, I've wandered over underneath. This is supposed to be here. And we're going to want to be over there with the footer. But the garage wall will come up just like there's a stem wall there. Just like a stem wall there that goes back and across for us. And for this room, it'll go up over here. And then we'll set this house back down on top. We'll have a really nice, we're going to have windows, that's our door hole or whatever. And then the grade will be filled, back up and tapered down in a way as it should be. And this will all be underground. It will have what looks like the same damn thing that we started with. But ultimately, it will be under the entire footprint of the house, full basement, for the entirety, all the way around, one piece. We'll have some posts. I forget exactly where this works out, but we'll probably have to do a couple of posts here. There's a chance that we would replace the main timber beam with a steel I-beam in here, which might allow us to go with like just one. That's the nice thing about it, is it'll do so much greater of a span. And then there's no step up, there's nothing here. That's crawl space area is all incorporated into the house. Everything's all the full depth here. And then we'll have a stem wall over here and a stem wall over here on a footer. And then again, if you were to finish this room someday, you can open this up so that it can trade air down into and back up from the basement. And in the case of this concrete, and then once you've got the stem wall here, then you pour the floor within that. But I want to see some PEX lines coming into the building here, and I want to see some PEX circuits coming in over here, and we'll do all of our utilities. Probably this is like a dead space. This is where that's got no light or anything. They're very, again, not again, but they haven't used this area of the basement for so long. It makes so much more sense to put the utilities over here up front. You can also, we'll get the gas meter outside over here. Electricity comes in over here. The panel may have to be there, but that's all right. All of your plumbing services and the main sewer line goes out here. It'll all be in like a utility corner over here. And then I'd like to move that furnace and stuff. At least, I mean, the stairs come down right like in this area here. So tuck in the furnace, because the main, stack and stuff go up over in the house. We don't want to go too far away from that. But trying to tuck stuff over around underneath there and basically end up with so much more room for activities here. You end up with this, and maybe laundry over there for now if they want to stick to laundry in the basement. But now you really got some areas to work underneath this beam. Another thing I want to mention is I want to stop higher and create a deeper basement. Not necessarily by digging lower, but again, like building the wall up higher and coming. When we land this house, it's stopping a lot higher, off like another foot or so off of the ground currently. So you get a full 8-foot ceiling in the basement, which is going to help for the feeling of openness. And fresh new stairway, and the option to incorporate this space here, and the option to heat most of the residence this way with a radiant pad if they so choose. And then we'll be like that outside. And then I might see about stretching this room a little wider. This entryway, putting some steps up here that are a little bit more. And then they're gonna want to do some landscaping. I'm just gonna show some bushes here, whatever that may be. But I think in the end you're gonna end up with something that's real nice. And a new kind of curved walk to the driveway. That's the plan. Now we'll see whether or not it goes according to it.